Okay, here we are back with the grayscale version. This is all we need for the grayscale version. So I'm going to go ahead and, I guess you actually could do an adjustment layer. You could play with your levels, your brightness, contrast, if you thought there were elements that you wanted to change. And I probably do need to soften this. So not all grays are the same. So it is very helpful to go in and change elements to get the exact right image that you want. So I am going to, in particular, change the rust layer. I think I'm going to go darker with it so that you would be able to see text on top of it. Okay, now that is the solution that I would make for the grayscale version. Now we'll do something different with the next. He actually looks sort of light to me. That's not going to work. I want to see more of him than that. This effect might work. No, it's just going to blur him out. I don't know that I want him blended as much with the wood, although it's interesting to go through some of these and see if see if there's an option that gives you more variation. So that's something to work on in Photoshop. Yeah, I think I like him better as the photograph. But he still looks just kind of light to me. Let me see if I can make him a little more high contrast. Make it a little darker. Okay. All right, I think I'm happy with that one. So we're going to save this as grayscale, and then I will refer back to this one when we get into Illustrator. All right, now there's a couple different ways to handle your monotone and full color. I'm going to show you my preferred method, and if you have a method that works better for you, that's not a problem. Okay, so we're going to go under Mode, Image, down to Mode, and where it says Duotone. Go to Duotone. At that point, you can change it to monotone. And I actually have my Pantone in here, but I'm going to get rid of that and go back and make sure we've got this right. Okay, it's 282C. Let me show you how to do that. So you're going to go to monotone. Yours probably will be black or whatever the foreground color is. You click on the color. Then in your libraries, you go to the same swatch book that you used for Illustrator. And then you scroll up and down until you find your color, which was 282. And we have that selected. Now we can control the curve of this ink, how dark you want it. So it may have a slightly different look than your grayscale, because you may find that it's so dark that it doesn't show any highlights in the dark area, and you may not be happy with that. So you can play with the curves. Now if you go crazy with the curves, you're going to end up with something that's very posterized. This is a good example of posterization, and that's just not very appealing, but you can subtly change your color. All right, so I think I'm pretty comfortable with that, and that will be my monotone. Okay, the only difference I might want to make in this one, I'm going to go ahead and select that color. And I just really want a little bit of a darkening around that corner. Corner's just too bright for me. I'm just picking out a decent sized brush and we'll move this down to like 20% opacity. I just want to make a few quick little passes with that color, and let's see. I want to be on that layer. That's Kevmo. That's the interior layer. Didn't look like it was going to let me work on it. Oh, there we go. Okay. That is not what I want. Okay, it looks like no matter what I do here, it wants to take away from my selection, which is not my desire. Alright, so I'm going to just use a new layer. And with that new layer, go back to my picker. Okay, that's what I was going for. Let's bring this back down to 20. Okay, that was kind of annoying. Alright, I just want to fill this in. What that's going to do is just give me more of a highlight when I do put my text in here. Okay, just wanted to fill that in a little bit. And we will, that's saved as monotone. Okay, so moving on, we need to make our tritone, which is the full color image. We're going to go back to mode, duotone, and we're going to add in our other colors. See, checking back, another color was 202C. Let's add that in. Change it to tritone. Alright, and then 202C. I hope that after watching this demo, it's going to take a lot of the guesswork out for you guys, and you'll be able to just fly through the rest of this project. Alright, and 435C. Okay, now that is very, very dark. So we're going to work on some of these curves. A hint of that red, but really don't want to lose too much of my blue either. And that's warmed him up some. I'm pretty good with that one. Okay, so that is just straight past. Now some of you have colors that when they mesh and you work on the curves, you're going to be really happy with the outcome. And so I suggest doing it this way just to see what you get. Then I'll go back and work on these individually. Okay, so open up the channels palette. I'm going to create a new channel. And again, it'd be nice if I'd memorized these. 282C. New channel. And click on our color. I guess I could have added these to the swatch book. That would have been faster. But I didn't. And we're halfway through now. So, all right, 282. So I have this, And I'm going to leave the opacity at 50%. I can always change that if I need to. And I'm basically going to make a swatch for every color 202. I'm just going to duplicate the old one. Change the name, double click on it, and change it to 202. Okay, seems like it did not change. Nope, it did. Okay. Alright. And duplicate this. 435. Okay. All right. Now, now we have these basically in all 100% of it, and I don't want that. So I really like the blue, especially for the wood. So I'm going to go through these and kind of eliminate it where I don't want it using the eraser tool. Okay, so we're going to bring that up a little higher. And I'm just going to erase out the areas that I don't want covered. And if I mess up, I'll just add it back in. Very much like you use when you are making a selection. So I just like those warm tones on him, but I really didn't want him to be blue. Okay. Now I'm just using I'm just using an eraser tool right now. You could use a quick mask. You can make a selection around him like we did earlier. If you want it to be a nice crisp line. It really just depends on the look you're trying to achieve. So here, I'll just do it real rough. Okay, and you can press delete and it'll all go away. You can come back and tweak it later. This red one, I really want the red to be primarily over here on the rust. Oops. Okay, and not that intense, but I'll work on that in a second. All right, and then taupe color, it just really needs to be lightened all the way around. So I'm just going to select it all and delete that. And then I'll just add that back in as I need to. I'm sorry, I undid this when I was deleting. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of the start of where I want this to go. The red's a little crazy, so I'm going to tone that down. Some areas. I think I'm actually, let me change brushes here. I'll use kind of got some cool paint drip brushes, which are gigantic right now. Okay, that's better. Okay, I think maybe I'll use those. And I'm not actually adding paint. I'm just deleting a portion of area that was blue. That was red. Just taking it out a little bit. Alright, that's starting to give it a little bit more of the look I want.